Let's talk about our last Bama guy for the day. Let's talk about Kadyn Proctor, the guy that I think is the most important player in the transfer portal right now. Because how often do you see a left tackle, just a starting left tackle, that has the ability to start at Alabama, right? This man is starting at just about any school that he goes to. He's a
At
monster.
every single school, whether at left tackle, whether at right tackle, you throw him in the guard. A guy, this guy, and it only happens in certain situations where a guy like this magnitude, him and Caleb Downs, come into a portal because of a coaching change, right? At a place like Alabama, someone retires, and obviously maybe he's a little homesick, maybe he's missing Iowa, maybe they're offering a bunch of money that Bama can't quite match, and they get it done there. But yeah, he struggled early in the year. A lot was made of the Texas game. A lot was made of the Ole Miss game. A lot was made of the USF game for Proctor, but he was a freshman. He thrown into the fire. And there's a reason why he was playing over a guy like Pritchard. And he also gutted it out in the Rose Bowl, right? He was obviously not 100% at all. But you know what? He showed up. He played very, very hard. He did his best against a really, really good front in Michigan. Got developed for a year at Alabama. And I think he will take a massive step forward next year and be a stud wherever he is at for another 2 years and off to the NFL.
And we say wherever he goes, right? But we know it's probably Iowa, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So if you
To
remember following this recruiting story a couple years back, he had originally committed to Iowa and then flipped to Bama. Iowa fans went nuts. Went
yeah.
nuts.
And
In-state guy, you thought you'd locked him in, and then boom, all of a sudden.
that speaks to a lot of stuff and maybe a new kind of way to recruit high level players that maybe you don't know for sure you're going to be able to sign at the end, but also you're going to have a second crack at him potentially in the portal a couple years later. And that happens here for Iowa. And they recruited Kadyn Proctor super hard. Now the fans may have burned their bridges, but the coaching staff didn't, and they were smart not to because who knows what happens in the portal. Who knows what can happen in the next couple of years of college football for these players. A lot of times you get a second chance at them, and those relationships matter. And to go back in the portal, you're fielding all those offers, and you get one from Iowa. You're like, hey, I know that coach. I get a text from them, and that really helps. If you obviously looking to go home, get homesick, whatever it is, get some money there for Proctor. But yeah, it's a tough loss for Bama. Now they have talent there. Elijah Pritchard, Miles McVay, other guys there coming in. Obviously, Bama will never be short of offensive linemen as it stands right now. But yeah, this one stings. And you mentioned positional value. Like you can't replace a guy like Proctor. You just can't in the portal, right? You can do it over a couple years in recruiting and developing, sure, maybe. But in the portal, just a quick fix like this is a massive, massive loss. And obviously, he's a 5-star everywhere transferring number two, number one player, depending where you look, whatever it is. Proctor is a monster.